Hey guys, welcome back to the Tea Life. It is me, Jeffrey.
And it's Marla.
Today we wanted to talk about a story that not a lot of people know. My family really doesn't know. This is something we kept away from a lot of people.
You want to say hi?
Jackson wants to say hi. Say hi, Jackson.
Say hi. Say hi.
No, say hi, dude.
Hey,
say
be
hi.
nice. Say nice. Say hi.
Say hi.
Say hi.
Papa Pig. So this is something that we really don't talk about it. My dad and my mother-in-law actually know about what we went through. So it's really sentimental and it's very hard, and I think this is something that brought us together. This is what made us. This is what broke us. That pushed us to the point of depression, at the bottom of the cliff. Like, this was the worst time of our life. And all that experience is what made us humble today. When I was in the military, I was such a person that was like, I want to do it, I can do it. I'm a soldier, I can do it, I don't want to need anybody. I don't want to depend on anybody. So this is where it started.
We've both been like that. We've never asked for any help.
Well, we don't like to ask for help, and I know we should, because there's so many people who love us and care for us. And so it's really important for everyone out there. People love you, so always ask for help when you need it. It started with me being stationed in Korea, and I was on my way to be stationed at Fort Bliss. My wife was really upset because she wanted to be stationed at Washington, Fort Lewis. My wife started doing researches about Fort Bliss, and we had no idea what El Paso is like, the lifestyle or anything like that. We just hear it from the news. So we're like, oh, we're gonna get kidnapped, cartel, and this and that, and we were so scared, whatever.
If you guys don't know what El Paso is 5 minutes away from the border. Ciudad Juarez.
Yes.
Why am I saying it mad like American? Ciudad Juarez.
Es Ciudad Juarez.
Ciudad Juarez.
El estado de Chihuahua.
Okay, you went hard.
Long story short, my wife started looking for places to live. And she's like, we need to be safe. We need a gated community. We want a big house. And we were looking at the rent. Rent was super cheap. It was like $700 for you can get a house for like $900 out there. I got stationed at Fort Bliss, got my orders, we took a road trip down, we moved. The thing is, the Army is very, very fast to take away your money, but to give it back to you, they take forever. I guess they realized they made a mistake. They were still paying me as if my wife wasn't with me, this and that. So
and that Jeffrey was still stationed in Korea.
Correct, and this happened for 2 months after I was already stationed here. Next thing, third month, all of a sudden, I get a $200 paycheck.
And I was pregnant.
And my wife was pregnant.
And to top it off, our rent was $735.
Car payment, insurance, food, electricity, internet. Like, this is all the bills that we had on top.
And we only got paid $200 for a month. If you guys don't know, military is a government job. So you guys get paid monthly, right? You
have the option of getting every 2 weeks, but because I was through a program and I was getting special pay, I was MI and stuff like that. So I had to get paid once a month. It was one lump sum a month. It was less taxes on that as well. So what happens is, here I am. I'm looking at my wife and say, what are we gonna do?
We have $200 to our name for the whole month.
For the whole month. And it came to the point where my friends in my unit had to help us out to pay for gas.
My mom gave us $200 all the time that she could, because she had her bills herself. The only one that actually helped us. She sent us $200. She's like, if you need anything, let us know, and we'll try to help you guys out. And we never asked for help. We just asked for those $200 so we could pay the rent. It was hard on us. I was pregnant, there was times where Jeffrey had to go training and I had to move back over here. First time mom, you want to have a baby shower, big baby shower, and it's your first child, you want to do it all, buy all this stuff. Fortunately, we couldn't afford a baby shower. We couldn't afford anything. My mom threw me a little going away / get together baby shower in my mom's house, and I think that's what made us
realize, hey, listen, we're in trouble here. We shouldn't be living like this.
I moved back and I had Jeremy premature.
And we were still facing financial issues. Yeah. The Army was still taking back all their money. And I'm like, man, there's nothing I can do. It's my fault for even using it. I was so stupid. But at the same time, when you get this money and you have to buy, you just move into a place, you gotta buy furniture, you gotta establish yourself. So I said,
that's what we did.
That's what I did. I took that money and I shouldn't have. I realized that people actually care, and it was my NCOs at the time. It's non-commissioner officers, or a sergeant, my sergeants at the time.
There was a sergeant that helped us out with all the paperwork that we needed to, to fight for our money back, because they were taking way too much money, and they ended up taking even more money than
they were supposed to.
So we stayed broke for a while. There was times where we had to pay rent, and like they were like, if you don't pay rent, we're gonna like. There was a time where they're like, if you don't pay the rent, you're gonna get.
It was like $100 fee every day.
Every day that passed, you'd have to pay. And mind you, we couldn't even afford the rent. So what makes you think that we could afford the extra days that we had to pay? So
it just became worse and worse. And then something went into Sergeant Palmieri, I'll never forget. He said, we need to see a chaplain, because a chaplain can help you. And not only he's a man of faith and a man of God, but he to do outreaching and just help you in your situation. He referred us to go see a chaplain, and the chaplain, they did what was a food bank.
Jeffrey's just like, oh, let's go talk to the chaplain, like, maybe they could help us out, give us some food. And they have like this thing,
food pantries,
a food pantry where like a lot of people donate their food that they don't use, like canned food and stuff. And there was a point in time where we had to eat expired food from there. And I'll never forget, we had Jeremy, he was like 3 months old, and there was a time where we just like decided to either buy food for us or buy formula and diapers for the baby. We only had money for one thing, so obviously we bought food and diapers for the baby. And it was just like that point, we're like, what are we gonna do, what we're gonna eat? And Jeffrey's just like, you know what, let's just eat MREs. If you guys don't know what MREs are,
they're the meal ready to eat, and they'll be. This is a picture of it right here.
I remember it was a chili. Mac and cheese.
Yeah, mac and cheese. The chili mac.
The chili mac, and it was the most disgustingest thing, and I would never forget it because it just.
MREs aren't the best tasting either. They're really bad for you, and they have too much preservative and chemicals. There's a lot of veterans who have so many stomach issues now because of MREs.
One of them is.
Yeah, and I even myself, like we used to eat that so much out in the field, and it's just bad for you.
Back to talking about the food pantry. There was I remember we got Cheerios. We got a whole bag of like expired
stuffing. Like, was it like stuffing for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Like we even
pretty
ate
gross.
That.
Like,
but we had no choice.
We had no choice. We were gonna die of hunger. We ate at the DFAC. If you don't know what DFAC is, it's like a cafeteria basically, right?
Yeah, it's a cafeteria on post for soldiers.
Yeah, they have like snacks and stuff. Like there was a point in time where we just had to eat that.
My unit had donated money for me to eat at the DFAC with my wife. Like,
your sergeant gave us a $25 gift card
for the commissary.
I'll never forget all that.
Yeah,
I'm getting emotional.
They, you know what my unit did? They put me on a special list so I can receive a gift by the Army, because they knew I didn't have money, and this was at the time of Christmas. They knew my finances were so bad, and how the Army just screwed me over. I had no other choice. The gift, remember how the Army donated a gift for Jeremy?
Oh yeah, they gave him the car. I had money for Christmas gifts, and they were just like, just come, like, bring your child, and you could get a bunch of gifts for free. And they donated a little car, remember? It was a little car.
And he used to pedal on it.
Yeah, it was like the cutest thing in the world. I think your unit really helped us out.
Units. 1st Armored Division, was it 316th Engineer Battalion.
We went through so much tough times while we were living in Apostle. As much as we went through so much things, we literally was like, we can't let this break us. We can't let this define who we are. Those times were like the best times for us, because it actually made us realize that we want to be with each other and through thick and thin, no matter what it was. We were broke, and we had to go through it. I feel like we have to go through things, big obstacles in our life to define our relationship and who you are. It's what made us humble the most. I
think that's what we realized, why we have such a passion and love for Texas. We learned what that Southern hospitality is. We had our neighbor who we didn't even know was knocking on our door, but like,
hey, do you want to come to eat?
You guys hungry? You guys ate dinner? We were so caring, like they knew what was going on. He worked in the same battalion.
And I think he and he heard what you were going through. Correct. And stuff, and he ended up living right behind us. And then he told his wife, and his wife was like, oh, let me go invite them. So she knocks on our door, and she's like, hey, do you guys want to come in for dinner? And I'm like, wow, thank you, yeah. And it was the best thing in the world. Me and her ended up being really good friends, and we still talk to this day. Can't forget the time where we didn't have food, and she was just like, hey, I want to know if you guys want to come for dinner. Every single weekend she would ask us to go dinner, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing, thank you so much. And then it started getting to a point where she would invite us to dinner every day.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like such a great thing. Like, they were going through their tough times too, and they still had like,
yeah, they still had that positive attitude.
Yeah, that positive attitude. I feel like, you know, we got so close to them to the point where this is the homeless story now. Going, because, you know, we were talking about how we were broke, and now we're talking about being homeless.
Which it all ties in. So I made the decision that I no longer wanted to be in the military anymore. Like, you know, now I had Jeremy. We were struggling with payments and pay, and I was like, you know what, I just want to go to school. I want to make something out of myself. And it's not like I didn't like the military, because I loved it, but it's just like I was in so much trouble, like
so much pain,
financial trouble, mental health. Like, it was so much that was going on. You know, at the time I'd recently lost one of my closest friends too. He committed suicide, and it hit really hard, and I was like, you know, I don't want to be part of this anymore. What happened is I made the decision that I was gonna get out, and I told the leasing management
like, once
office,
we get the orders, then you could, like, you know, start looking for people.
Correct.
These people,
they didn't care. They just wanted.
They just bit our ass, and they're like, you know what? I don't care. We have people moving in there next week.
Because, and like, I was like, I didn't even give my orders yet. Like,
how the military works, if you have a property around the military base, you already should know, like, hey, you know what? We can't do this until we have their orders.
Because things change sometimes last minute.
Last minute. So we got our orders. Like, you know, he got out, and he was just like, I need to get my DD-214, which is supposedly the golden ticket for them to come out of the military.
It's
so
true.
We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're like, if you don't move, we're gonna, like, you know, take your stuff out of the property. We ended up taking our things out, putting it in storage, and our neighbor just moved into a 3-bedroom apartment, and she's like, hey, you know what, just live with us. And we lived with them for 2 to 3 weeks, because we were just like, where the hell are we gonna go? Like, we don't even have a down payment to go to another apartment and stuff. Just, we didn't have anything. We had our 2 dogs, and we had Jeremy. I feel like that's what, like, brought us together even more. And like, that friendship that we have with them, and our relationship to each other, our bond is just so special. We didn't have money for dates. You know what we did? We would go to the mountain and just see the sunset. Hiking. We would go, we had a gun in El Paso, and we would shoot in the shooting range. Those were like the type of dates, and that's what, like, we missed the most, because you know, we didn't have no money.
We didn't depend on money to be happy. I think that now, that made us humble. And sometimes, like, believe it or not, we're not rich, and we don't want to be rich. We just want to be wealthy. Wealthy in our hearts, in our love, in our family.
We're going through tough times right now. Not as bad as how we had it before. We're going through right now where, you know, my mom helps us out with food, or sometimes, or, you know, his mom helps us out with some money, so for gas. And I feel like, you know, you need your family.
I know, I emphasize on that, because it's important.
We used to be that type of person, like, you know, we can't help, but we're still that type of person. Like, you know, sometimes I feel even bad asking my mom for some help, but then she just already knows. Calls me, she's like, oh, do you need anything? Do you need milk? Do you need this for the babies? And I'm like, no, we're good. We're actually good. And sometimes, you know, like, I wish and I pray so much so I could give my mom the world. I don't know what to say.
I understand. It's hard. It's hard.
I wish I had, like, all the money in the world to give it to my mom, because I think she's, like, ever since we had, like, that thing in El Paso, it's just,
it hurt us.
It's been so hard, and she's just, like, has been there for us the whole time. And since we moved back, she's just been, like, so helpful. I'll make her live like a queen, because she deserves it the most.
Yeah, she does. She even quit her job to help out to raise Jeremy for a bit.
When we were in Texas, I thank my mom so much.
Yeah, it was, I guess Texas is a home sentimental for us. And we were born and raised in New York, but Texas is something very special for us because of the traumatic events, because we were homeless, we were broke. So that's what leads to what I do now, and I want to change, I wanted it better. And that's why I care about so many veterans and so many people who are in the military. That's why everyone should always appreciate the military. And because you never know what people go through. Everybody's just like, oh, the military gets so much money. And I'm just like, no, we don't. You don't get money. Don't go into the military because of money. Go into the military because you want to help. Go to the military because, you know, that's your passion. You want to make something out of it. We just wanted to show you guys, like, you know, a little part of our life and who we really are. This is something that's happened to us, and I hope you guys get to learn from our experiences. Hope this experience that happened to us never happens to anybody, but if you do, please reach out to me. We have our social media. Hey, listen, I watched your video and this is what I'm going through. Something like that, and we will help you and lead you to the correct direction.
we don't want to tell the story for pity or anything. We just want to tell you our story because, you know, I feel like, you know, since we entered into this YouTube world, I want you guys to get a closer connection and realize who we really are.
So with that being said, thank you guys so much. It's been emotional, and I'm so happy we get this out of our chest. Thank you for all our followers, our subscribers. I love you.
Love you too.
And thank you guys, and we love you, all right?
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and my Twitter, because this one doesn't have Twitter.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yay!
Your touch feel like a fire. Pour some Henny in my cup, feel my desire. Baby, I had to come check you, I can't deny ya. You kinda fine now. You're my type, yeah. You're what I like.